Good
Okay, here
morning.
we are.
Hi. Hi. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Jen.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, everyone, LinkedIn land. Sorry, technical difficulties.
We're late.
You know what?
It happens.
When you run a technology company, sometimes you will also run into technical
All,
difficulties.
our
All good.
whole, just, yeah, in case anybody ever, if this might help somebody feel better about things, our whole day, every day, is kludging together jacked up pieces of technology that don't work. That is all we do.
There's a lot
Literally,
of
even,
string, a lot of
yeah.
tape,
Not string, duct tape, bubble
and a
gum,
lot of
angel
like,
tears.
a lot
Yeah,
of
a lot of
like,
hope. Yeah, yeah. A lot of love. A lot of
yeah,
love.
we could do this. We could do this.
But
Okay.
it doesn't matter how good you are at AI stuff or whatever, you
Yeah,
still have to do all the indignities of pressing the same button for
yeah,
17 days and then
yeah.
one day it randomly works.
And then one day it doesn't.
And then the next day it doesn't, and you can't decide why. You're like, oh, it's because I ate sardines this
This
morning, so now
morning,
I'm
and
eating
the
sardines every
universe
day.
was
So
like,
hopefully my buttons on my
didn't
third
go.
party applications will work.
Maybe they will. It's all fine. No. Well, anyway, I'm Jen Frazier, CEO, founder of Firefly Partners, and I'm here with another episode of Entangled. It's a Thursday. It's crazy. We're good. We got past our craziness, and I am joined by the lovely and talented Anne Murphy.
Hi.
Lisa, you've been a fundraising strategist for 100 years. You've been doing online work for 150, and now you've been doing AI
Yes.
for quite a while. And you started She Leads AI, which we want to shout out properly. But I think today, we want to give you a moment. You can talk about your background with more clarity than that what I just gave you. But I'll
Yeah.
just say ass kicker, all the things,
Yes.
whatever. And we're
Yeah. I
talking
mean,
about
ass
women in
kicker,
AI.
I'll take
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I like it. So yeah,
First of
welcome.
all, may I reflect back for the people who are here and who are watching later, like the Jen Frazier of it all. Be friends with Jen, hang around with her, follow what she's doing, work with her, because I only know a little bit of Jen, and what I know is that meetings are better when she's around, that she's a connector, and that she has a fire in her belly for the nonprofit sector that a lot of people have had kind of faded out of their bellies over the years.
True.
So thanks for having me.
Yeah, of
I'm
course,
happy to
of
be here.
course. You are so welcome. I've only been able to. I don't know how our circles hadn't overlapped for many, many years before that. Also, the fun fact is Anne lives in my hometown of
Yeah.
South Oregon, which is also just shocking. When I found out that
Shocking.
fact, I was like, obviously we need to hang out for so many
We need to
reasons.
hang out.
But little Oregon, we love you.
Yes.
Visiting,
I
but
miss Oregon.
it's like a
If I were gone, I would miss Oregon.
yeah, yeah.
If I would miss Corvallis if I didn't live here
No,
anymore.
it's
I'll be
great.
honest.
No. For a shout out for anyone out there who's never been, Little Corvallis, Oregon,
Well,
little tiny
Corvallis,
bitty bitty
Oregon,
town.
it's for sure on the come up. So a couple of things that might help make it all make sense, because I have realized recently that I'm really at a loss about how I describe kind of what I do and where I am in a way that helps people know how I can help them. And part of that is because, at my big age, I'm just learning about all the things I'm capable of.
Right.
And I wish that and hope that for everybody. And I want to say that don't let the personal branding conundrum get in the way of being the full expression of your multi-passionate self.
Yeah.
The personal branding thing, first of all, people are grown-ups. They'll figure it out.
We hope.
Second of all, let me prove to you that it does not matter. That you can do the things that you do and that are good at and that bring you joy. And it's okay if people don't know how to describe you. I'll give you an example. Early on, when we first launched our fundraising consultancy, which is called Empowered Fundraiser Consulting, and my business partner is my husband. We had this big conversation. We were really, really racking our brains. Like, how do we convey that we not only do fundraising consulting, we also teach people how to fundraise. We
Right.
have programs, we have workshops. And so we were like, boy, that's two things. That's a lot. How are we going to really define our brand? But that's
Right.
in the beginning when everybody tells you got to be. So what I learned was my nonprofit clients, my fundraising clients, like they don't know or care. They're not sitting here on LinkedIn Live going,
Going,
boy,
but
I
is your
sure
plan
hope.
clear enough to me? You know, they're like,
Right? They're not. They're like, I want a fundraising consultant with 33 years of experience who can run our campaign and make sure that we raise hundreds of millions of dollars. But if she has a personal brand that involves AI, nope, we can't have her.
yeah,
They do not care.
yeah. Not, this is not. We all spend way more time worrying about our exact language and our whatever, you know, all
Right?
the brand. You spend way much on the brand and your whatever, your
It's a
palette, your
patriarchy.
whatever, and
Yeah.
you're like, just get out there. You got a passion. You know what you want to do. Talk about it. Learn some things. Tell other people. Bring other people along.
Bring other people
All,
along.
it's all gonna be fine. It's all gonna be fine.
I had this guy, and he's a name that we all would recognize, so I'm not going to share it, but who said, well, Anne, I can't possibly refer anybody to you, not knowing from you what your talking points are on what you do. And I was like, cool, don't, because I didn't ask you to. I don't want your people.
You're like, thank you. I think I don't really know, but you're like, amazing. You're like, anyway, moving along. I'm fine.
Moving along, I'm good. I'm good. I've been getting by for 52 years without your little magic wand. The place that people are catching me in is, I think it's helpful to see, because I'm just like this work in progress with what the new world is going to look like and the role that I'm going to play in it.
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting about watching women who are in this space, like, me and you and the other badass Rocketeers, and, the women in She Leads AI and everybody in AI Salon and all of our other communities that we get to hang around with, and the folks that we at and
Yeah.
is that we're in the arena.
Oh yeah.
We are getting our asses kicked, right? That Brene Brown quote about, if you're not in the arena also getting your ass kicked, I'm not interested in your feedbacks.
Exactly.
We get a lot of feedback from people who aren't in the arena, and that's what Reese Witherspoon ran into this week.
I know.
And so to dive in on that, to kind of like make sense of the moment, all of us are a version of where Reese is, right? We are sticking our necks out in our own communities. It may be in our family, it may be in our kitchen, right? To talk about the both and of AI. It's transcendent and it's horrible. It's going to save our lives. It's going to ruin our lives, right? So it's both. So Reese stuck her neck out, and she's got a really rarefied existence, right? And she's been busted before for doing things that seem lovely and magnanimous, but that are also very, very, very exploitive and lucrative to her. So she comes into it with a little bit of a black shadow over her of, why is Reese Witherspoon telling us all that we need to go on do AI stuff now? Mm-hmm. So I would like for Reese and all of us, of course, to ground our advice for other people and their AI journey in our own experience, right? Yeah. And she is kind of, right? She did say, well, I was sitting around with my founder friends, and we were talking about AI, and I thought, girl, here's what 99.999% of your audience doesn't have is a founder friend.
Exactly. I was like, your book club's different than my book club. I'm just gonna go out on a limb. I'm just gonna go.
Right.
I'm like, I can't even imagine like the people that are in Reese's book club. Awesome. But also, I like that she was like, she's like, at least she brings it up. She's like,
brings it up. She tells us.
Like, nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going on. Everyone hears about it, but a lot of people just aren't even like using it. Which I was like, exactly. And then she's like, how have many of you are using it like well?
Exactly.
And that to me was sort of part of like the beauty too of like, we all probably have gone on and just done some like basic like prompt stuff or made some funny picture or whatever. And I'm like, how many people are using it well and understand? That's the other thing to me right now is, do you even understand what you don't? We all kind of even don't understand what we're dealing with right now and the transformative moment that we're in, because we have no idea where we're headed. We're all on a big boat being like, we're not going down the rapids. There's a waterfall coming, and we're like, it's gonna be fine. It's super fun. And then you're like, whoa. And then you're like, paddle, paddle, paddle.
Yeah.
It's like a fun moment though to kind of go. And I was just glad that she shouted it out. I mean, a little bit.
No.
And I'm curious what you're thinking about, like where she's coming from. Yes, nobody has a founder group, but like, so her point is totally different.
So I think that I'm hopeful that Reese Witherspoon being the center of gravity that she is,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we need the Reeses, we need the Trojan horses, we need these people who are already in people's lives, who are trusted individuals, who can be role models, who can say, and Reese is bringing attention to it, which is positive. Of course, also what has come with that is a whole raft of, misogyny and internalized misogyny,
Which I'm
but
like,
that's okay,
I know, which
right?
we're all gonna take, and because she
Yep.
is who she is, she's gonna take a huge amount of the hit for the rest of of women, essentially being
Yeah.
like, women, it's time to get in the. If you're not already in the arena, certainly get in there, start
Yep.
doing it, and come into the arena in your own way. Like her arena is obviously a lot different, so she is going to
Mm-hmm.
take a lot of the heat. And I wanted, publicly, we'll just put it out there, Reese. You want to come on Untangled? Let's talk about your
Yeah.
heat. Like, let's figure this out because not only say women use AI, but I want to circle back to your like the She Leads AI mission
Yeah.
statement, which I love, which is we unite accomplished women to advance AI for global prosperity. I think that's to me the like the nugget of like it's not enough. Well, okay, at least it's great to be like Reese, you're out there saying women use AI. It's time. You got to get in the game. You got to learn this. But why? Like, what's the difference? Like, why? Why? I'd love to hear more. I want her to
Yeah.
come tell me, like, what's the thing? Like, you're like, why do you want women to be using AI? Like, she said it a
Yeah.
little bit, but I don't think she also unpacked it enough for me to be like,
So,
tell me more. So this is sort of
yeah, so this
your
is
realm. So let's talk about that piece of it.
sure. So first we want to ground ourselves in how data is conveyed to tell a story.
Right.
The story about women not adopting AI deserves all the rethinking that you can imagine. Any trope that
Right.
sounds like a trope like that, we really ought to go, that doesn't seem quite right. Gosh,
Right.
I know a ton of women
Right.
who are crushing it in AI. So here's what's happening. The statistic about women using, like, for example, ChatGPT, which eclipsed men in March of 2025.
Right.
No one wants to talk about that statistic.
Right.
They want to talk about how women are going to lose our jobs, right? So couple things. One is we use AI as much as men do, period.
Yeah. Yeah. Full stop.
But we waited. In 2022, nobody did anything. 2023, guys started using ChatGPT and they came all in. They're like, oh, use. It's great, it's great, it's great. Women held back. And we said, okay, what is this? Who does it hurt? Who is it excluding? Where does this start? Where does it end? We didn't know about data centers in November of 2022. Aren't we glad we paid attention?
Yeah.
Goodness,
Yeah.
right? I was able to stop. Like, I thought the funnest thing in the world was to sit in bed and make images all night long. And here's the thing. I don't need to do that. I don't like it that much enough for me to know, hey, maybe this is one thing that I could do where I can make a small choice with AI about how I use it that's in my integrity. But I didn't know about data centers when I started. So women being at the fore, having these conversations, it changes. It changes the way that decisions are made. We will approach things more holistically. We will look at who's being harmed, who's being centered,
Yeah.
who was part of the conversation and who wasn't. So when we're making AI policies and when we're building our own technology, and when we're showing up in spaces, in conferences, when we're not letting tech bros make us afraid to show up and say we know what the heck we're doing with Claude Code or whatever. If we're not letting the gatekeeping work, that is an incredibly powerful political statement that we as women are making, is saying there are a million reasons why the world does not want me to be really freaking good at using AI.
Totally.
The gates are there for a reason, ladies. They're not there by accident.
The gates are there. I'm sure Anne will. There.
Oh,
Sorry,
am I frozen? Okay, I was frozen for a
froze
second.
one second. You're fine. You're back.
Yeah, so
But-
we go. So
Yes,
we.
keep
So
going.
the role that Reese can
Oh,
play
technology.
is in
This is
helping us decide
part of the
how
day
do we.
we're
Yeah. So, like, how do
Oh my
we?
goodness.
Yeah.
And we'll catch up and it'll be fine.
Am I caught up?
I'll just fill in though, because
Yeah, fill in.
this is part of the technology
Are we good?
problem we're having snafus getting going. And they're still here with us. That's okay.
Am I not
Mostly
plugged in, Donnie?
the clear and obvious
It's
situation is that
it shows I'm on Wi-Fi.
women approach
It shows I'm on Wi-Fi.
AI use differently. I think
Isn't
what
this what
Anna
Wi-Fi
is
is?
talking about, and we've talked about many times, is the questions that are
Little,
being asked,
I thought it showed a
the
little box.
underlying assumptions that are
Right, so keep talking.
Oh, there's no
challenged,
talking.
and the ways in
We're
which
off.
we want to.
Right, so maybe you
That's
can
okay.
Okay, there
You're
we go.
fine. You were
Okay,
frozen for quite
perfect.
a while, and I just
Perfect.
so
Okay.
you're good. Yeah.
So the thing is that we can be passive consumers of AI. We can open up our CRM and realize all of a sudden we're getting fed more information, more intelligence, more content, more things. We can open up ChatGPT and start sending emails, right? Start writing writing emails slightly differently than we would have written them by ourselves. Or we can raise our hands in our organization and say, I'm curious about AI. I know for sure that there are some things that we can do to do it better. I know I would like to explore with people who I work with, have a book club, have a brown bag, just find one person in your organization or find your bestie to get started using the machines. And I'll wrap up this little part of my soapbox with this recommendation is start using AI. You will be extremely disappointed. And that's an important part of the process.
Yeah.
You're going to start and you're going to be like, oh my goodness gracious, is this what people have been talking about? Or even when you try to take it to like the next level, you're like, it just doesn't seem like quite enough to justify the amount of time we're spending talking about it.
Exactly.
That's part of the process too.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Push through that. Yeah.
Push through that.
Yeah.
Push through that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
It's worth it.
Yeah, it is, and I think that's the part that is sort of the interesting and fun part of an adoption moment too, and a kind of a transformative cycle. Is sort of like, yeah, there's this like hype, there's all this craziness, and then you kind of plateau or have that little trough of despair, all that kind of nonsense, and then you go, oh, now we're going to actually really start using it in more effective ways because we've gotten past the sort of like, and then you're going to go, all right, what's the real magic back here? But to be fair, I kind of had my own little personal journey, same thing where you like hit the wall. Last week we were talking about the like, can I really build my website and these tools that, don't require any coding and stuff like that. And it was like, oh my God, the first pass was amazing. And then it just was like, wait, now.
Yeah, it's not production.
And then you're like, this is like a whole pain in my ass. And you're kind of like, but then you're going to go right and you're going to come back to it and you're going to come back smarter. And you're going to learn and you're going to come back into it smarter. And so you're going to get further, the next time you're going to like talk to your friends, be like, okay, great. How do we all get past this moment? And I think that's another thing that women just do differently is the sort of networking and like the collective sort of like, let's do this, not the competitive kind of, more bro thing of like, no, I'm going to kick your ass and no, I'm going to get you out of the way and I'm going to figure this out first and then I'm not going to share and all that kind of garbage. We're just like, you know what? Forget about it. We're over here going, hey, who figured this out? Great. I want to help everybody else figure this out too so that we can, you don't need to waste your time doing this because I already figured it out. So just jump over here to this square. Like you don't need to find your own path through the crazy jungle. I'm already on the other side and we're already building over here. So just find my little machete path through there and just come right on over. You don't need to try and create your own path over there. Just like come over here. We want to help you get here faster and better and easier you want to share. But that I think is very different. And obviously like all the stuff you were saying, the questioning the biases and all that I think is 100%, but it's just the approach of that sort of more like collective, we want to bring stuff forward is how I'm watching women in AI do things differently.
Agree. And I think that, the civic duty to show up right now is something that women, we know this. Like we feel it in our bones that our kids are at risk, that our parents are at risk, that we're at risk. Like we know this. The ancestors told us this, right? We're just channeling it, showing up as in like the way that women do as the care infrastructure. That's a decision point that we have in front of us as well is, do we want to do invisible labor as we have all these years, right? So childcare, right? Childcare, caregiving in general, women, we are the primary caregivers. And as a result, that has changed the way our society runs, right? Obviously. Is it going to be that way again, where we're the care infrastructure of the AI world, where we're in governance, we're in education,
Yeah.
We're in, social work. We're in psychology. We're in psychiatry for the people who are in relationship with AI. We are pounding, the pavement to get, legislators to make different decisions. Or are we building it? Are we making those decisions? Are we getting our customers, ourselves? Are we using our own data? Listeners, please download your LinkedIn data. Download your LinkedIn data. Learn who you are actually connected with. Learn what LinkedIn thinks you are. It's your data, not LinkedIn's data. It's yours.
Yeah. Yeah. Who they think you are. That's a topic for another day, but that's like,
So I think that's kind of the thing is with Reese bringing it up and giving us an excuse really to have that conversation and ponder and make decisions about how we want to show up and the importance of doing it now. I think, yeah, there is, of course, the job market upheaval, no question.
for sure.
Absolutely. That is, although that's like a survival thing that we must address. There's a bigger issue at hand here, which is that this is another moment where women's voices and women's power can be taken right away from us.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen in many, many areas. The vanillification of women's voices, when we talk through the AI, through AI slop, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
This is my one and only plea to consider going on Claude Code, the CLI, the nerdy, the thing that looks like something you would never want to touch, that is called the CLI. It's the Claude Code Terminal. I believe that women should have the experience of working with AI without the personality layer, without all the stuff that all the systems have to. They're chatbots. They have to make them chatbotable.
Personality side.
Chattable.
Yeah.
But if women could like set aside an hour, be like, I keep hearing about this thing. It's the CLI, and just use that as your North Star. I need to do the CLI thing. You're going to learn what it's like to talk to generative AI without having it filter through ChatGPT's gobbledygook and Claude's gobbledygook and just work with the information. There's still layers, but the system prompt, the things that are, the system is guided by you, not by the powers that be quite as much then.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good takeaway. I mean, so I know we started late and we've run late. It's all fine. We had our little technology whatnots, but I think these are some nice like ending takeaways for listeners today or later about you women out there. So I think the other thing is sort of like the kind of talk I gave at the NTC was sort of like, it's not that there's a gender gap in usage. I think the gender gap starts to come in the types of usage. And like you're saying, like challenge yourself to go a little bit deeper, use it in different ways, go into the interface, get away from the sycophantic, you're amazing, blah, 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 or whatever. Be like, no, that's it. I mean, I know
Yes.
okay.
I know. Yeah.
Obviously. But to sort of like, take it to the next level. And I think at the end of the day, people are like, well, I don't know what I'm doing over there. Or I don't know how to use that or whatever. Again, lots of resources. Lots of
resources. So step by step. Number one, I need everyone to know that the learning about how to use AI is not on social media.
Yeah.
You may be able to find a few creators, and I recommend you find your sources of truth, who you trust to follow. Absolutely. But the learning about how AI is really used in the ways that actually change the future is happening in communities. It's happening in small screens with me and you and two other women on it at all hours of the day, building things together. We're literally building the solutions to the problems that we've had our whole life. That is where the learning, yes, you must, you're going to, but find friends, get friends, join She Leads AI, come to Social Saturday. So like this Social Saturday, we have Denise Gangley and I are talking about how time and money are very confusing to people in this day and age. No one knows how to pay us for our AI services. Right. No one knows how to pay for any services. Right. What is time?
What is it?
Come to Social Saturday, learn how women are using AI, learn how they are specifically little use cases here and there, little tips and tricks.
Yeah.
You'll hear about people's job changes. You'll hear about what they want to do with their lives. You'll hear about stuff they're freaked out about, but we'll always have an expert who will come in and teach us some chunk of wisdom, kind of a beginning, middle, and an end. Oftentimes you walk away, it's like a workshop, and you'll start to make your friends, and then you'll be like, ooh, she's about where I am. Let me do like a coffee chat with her.
Yes.
And then let's bring in somebody else who maybe knows a couple of other little things.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I mean, this is step by step, the recipe for how, like, I'm confident I am as good as a junior developer, if not better now. I am a leisure studies major.
Yeah.
That is my degree. Leisure studies.
Yeah. And
I can build, software now. I don't know anything, but I can do these things. So can everybody else.
You know lots of things, but maybe you're like, I'm not a developer, but you know lots of things. But I think that's what I'd love to like let listeners and sort of readers later and all that is sort of like, you've been out there, you've been playing, you're like, okay, I have like a decent understanding of like the basic, like whatever. And I've maybe even done some cool other things. How do you effectively take that further? You know, there's more, you are capable of learning more and you're capable of doing more. How do you do it? Social Saturdays on Sheila's AI
Social Saturday,
is a great option.
Our newsletter. So if you
start communicating and connecting. That's the big thing. You're like, okay, there's other people, and then other people will make time in their lives because they're at the same creative spot that you're at. And they're like, yes. And it's power of like connection and community and learning and taking stuff forward and not being like, I'm going to sit and watch a bunch of YouTube videos or whatever and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, now you have to like do it, learn it. I have a great Rocky Mountain AI group here. There's a whole women in AI subgroup, and they just do these workshops all the time too, where like, we're just going to jump in, we're going to be in a room, and we're all going to code together, and we're all going to figure this out. And it's a totally awesome. They bring different learners into this room too, as well, different experts that have like done this for a little bit longer. They're just there to answer the questions and help, again, bring it forward. So if folks are out there thinking, what can I do? How can I help this? Because I think our big takeaway is like women in the space right now. A, it's imperative to get in the space. Number one. B, like we have an opportunity right now. I think also to, it's like you have to help get in the game so you can help shape where this is going, because it is being shaped as we speak. And right now, the more we sort of just hang back, like you say, and kind of like use it just from the interface side, or just use it sort of, which I feel like is a very passive use of AI and what's capable there. It's like, no, go deeper, go further, be a creator, be a builder, like get in there, and don't just sort of do it as like the basic Gen AI side of the house. Not that that's wrong or not effective or helpful. It is in very many ways, but I think master that, and then when you're ready to kind of take that forward too, lots.
I would say,
available.
I just had a thought, which is, here's something. Be the person who's always going to work in OpenAI. That's totally or in ChatGPT. But to augment your civic, how you're showing up in your civic responsibility, also read a book about AI. Also subscribe to a podcast and listen to it. Also challenge yourself to have a couple of conversations today. It doesn't have to be builder, right? Like in my mind right now, because I'm obsessed with building things, I'm like, build. But actually it's maybe what is your bag of tricks that you bring to this? Are you the person who has read a couple of those really important books, the Ethan Malik, the Joy Bulawini, the ones that are those seminal canonical books that are the topics that we can bring to our friends and family and neighbors? Maybe it's just finding a way that fits, to your point, with what works. Like we have a book club in She Leads AI. We sit around talking about the books. We have the authors come in. Like we have an analog art lab at our conference. Like, so I should say, She Leads AI, the one way to get involved is to get on our newsletter, because you're going to get a companion guide for every She Leads AI. It'll give, for every Social Saturday, it will give you, here are prompts, here's a workbook, here's some learnings. So if you get on our newsletter, which is called the Slay Effect, that's really the first step. Come to Social Saturday, join the She Leads AI Society. Right now, everybody who joins before July 1st will be in at our founders rate, but we are offering a whole new set of member services in business building, mindset, all the things of like going from an employee to being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
We're adding that to our repertoire services.
Nice.
And we have our in-person conference. We have our She Leads AI certified AI educator cohort. So if you want to get a certification to be an AI educator, come to us. We have an AI consulting accelerator, which is going on right now and will begin again this summer. And we're launching a chief AI officer program with a university partner. Hopefully, supposedly June 1st, but that seems like tomorrow. So if you want to be a chief AI officer, if you want your company to send you, if you want your nonprofit to send you, if you're the, hey, I'm doing AI person in your organization, tell them.
Yeah.
They need to send you to get training for that and a credential.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, great. Well, let's wrap on that. Like so many different ways. I was on your website earlier today and I was like, so many different ways to get
So many
involved,
different ways. Yeah, we need.
learn and jump in. I think the biggest one though is just that kind of create community, find other folks. I think the good one there is the nugget is find someone else who kind of about the same, or maybe you feel like they know just a little more than I do. So like I can learn and then you can learn together. I think is such a nice way to learn in community because it does sometimes feel like you're by yourself at your computer at like 4
Yeah,
in the morning and you're like, I'm at the brick wall and I don't know how to get past this thing.
yeah.
Yeah, the way to find sources to help break through those moments. And you're right. I'm not trying to say, sorry, that every single person needs to be a builder because that's
It's
a big ask.
a niche. It's a niche.
But
It's
it's also
fun.
like, or here's the other piece we'll end with is if you don't want to be the builder yourself or whatever, but everyone's got great ideas because the more you get in and the more you use it, is then you can be like, great, there's a great community. Some of them do want to be those crazy builders. That's amazing. How can I at least help shape something that gets built that's going to solve a problem that I've been struggling with inside my organization,
Yes.
in my community, whatever. I might not know how to build it right now, but honestly, even when you work with another team of women builders, they kind of bring you in to that whole process anyway. Because
Yep.
as the person's going to help shape something that gets built, you kind of almost become a little mini builder in the
You
process.
do.
So
You
that's
do.
when I say become a builder, there's sort of flavors of the building, and then you can be a different type of builder. You don't have to be maybe the one that is in the cloud code necessarily, or stringing together all the systems, but shaping how it gets built with the right
Shaping how
folks. I think is really to me that's also being a builder. So like we'll just
it
expand
is.
the definition
Yeah.
of like what does it mean to be a builder? It's again not just sitting and like I'm going to use
Yes.
Gen AI from the terminal and be like, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, and like do the things and just get the outputs. You're like, no, this is a moment where these tools are actually, capable of restructuring and rebuilding some of the
Yeah.
things and actually solving some of our problems. So that's my big kind of epiphany moment in the last basically 18 months, but in the last 6 months
Yeah.
in particular, since the cloud code came out in particular, there's sort of this like, oh, now the things have just kind of gone whoop, like we were
Yeah.
already going like this, and then the
Oh yeah.
kind of went
Yeah.
straight up, and then you're like, oh, okay. So we're gonna wrap. We're gonna say, Anne, she leads AI.
Yes.
Is it she leads
It's
AI?
AI.ai.
Wait, yeah, that's how it
Mm-hmm.
goes, right? I'm like, there's
AI.ai.
AI,
Mm-hmm.
AI. We'll put it all in the blog post and everything, and then register for the conference. It's in September,
Conference
October.
is October 16th through 18th in Salt Lake City. Join us.
And then come in and do the social Saturdays at the very least. Get on the newsletter, come to social Saturdays. And maybe if you're like super inspired, come and meet in community in person in
Yep.
Salt Lake in the fall. And I think it'd be rad.
I
I'll be
think it would be rad. An open invitation to people. We are building the world's first matriarchal agentic company right now, and we have build sessions. I know that sentence has a lot in it, but we are. What I'm trying to say is um, we are building agents on a regular basis, getting together on Zoom rooms, imbuing them with matriarchal tendencies, and creating a company out of these agents. I know it sounds
sci-fi.
sci-fi, but I'm not a sci. I don't even like sci-fi, so it's very practical. If people want to come hang around while people are building things, like there's just a lot of opportunities where we're like, hey, everybody, are you around? Let's hop on and let's build stuff. It's a different way of working. It's a different way of thinking. And if people are just like, I would love to be a fly on a wall while you guys sit around and talk and build stuff and talk about features and figure out runway and stuff, like just get in touch with me and I'll just give you a Zoom link for one of these times when we're just having one of these wrap sessions.
It sounds awesome too.
Yeah, it's
So,
fun.
all right,
Sorry, I know
listeners.
we need to go.
That's okay. That's okay. Again, I was like, there's so many things we could talk about. All I will say, Leah Lundberg, who's another amazing fast talker. So everyone, the three of us got in a room. No one would be able to hear anything. This would just be like, blah, 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 blah. Will be on next week. She couldn't come last week, but she's coming
Yay.
next week, and she's gonna show us what she's built. Let's see.
Awesome.
Back to women builders. She's been building. I want to see firsthand what she's been building. So she'll be on next week. Anne, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
An episode of Untangled. Oh yes, I don't know. We got on Spotify and we got on Apple Podcasts. So you can find us and you can follow us
Perfect.
as well. So we're very excited, and hopefully we'll get some folks registering for the Create Conference in Salt Lake. And if not,
Yep.
some of you on Social Saturdays out there.
See you on Social Saturday. And we do have a big, huge free event coming up on June 1st. And I'll send out information about that soon. But it's a free opportunity to have fun and learn how to build.
Yay!
A little cheap and cheerful, little problem solvers. So
Okay, great. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody have a great
Amazing.
rest of your Thursday, and we'll catch you next time on Untangled.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.